Hello, Miles Mustangs. Hey guys, let's make a lei, which is kind of like a traditional Hawaiian necklace, usually made of flowers, but let's make one out of paper and beads for Island Day next week. Next week, we're all going to be gathering on Wednesday in our Hawaiian shirts and our finery to celebrate Island Day together. So let me share with you how to make this. All right, here comes the materials. I'm going to put this guy right over here. So, first, of course, you're going to need some paper. So, the paper that I've gathered here is different weight of paper. If you have construction paper at home, that would be fine. This is actually copy paper. Some of these are cardstock, but actually, the thinner the paper, the easier to cut. So, grab yourself some paper. You could even use tissue paper if you have that at home. And here's another cool option. If you happen to have some of this at home, if somebody in your life is a scrapbooker, you could actually use printed paper that looks like this. And the cool thing is some of these printed papers have patterns on the front and on the back. These would look really cool made into flowers for our lei. So in addition to paper, you will of course need, those over there, you're going to need a little cup of some sort. It could be actually a glass. This is like a little pudding cup because we're going to trace around the rim of your little cup. So you're going to need a little cup. You're also going to need a pencil and a pair of scissors. And in order to be able to wear this thing, you'll need some kind of fiber. So this is actually cotton, like cotton string. You could use yarn, you could use hemp, you could use pretty much anything you've got lying around the house. You could even use shoelaces, but you'd have to probably tie them together. So you know me, I am really big on improvisation, which means use what you've got. Now, the other thing that I did buy, I found these little beads at the Dollar Tree, you know, my favorite. You can also get these at Michael's. If you don't have beads, don't worry about it. The other thing that you can use that works really great are straws. If you've got some straws at home, especially if they're fun, bright colors, you can just cut straws up. And where these go is these things, the beads or the straws, go between the flowers. So here's the flowers, and between the flowers go either straws, beads, or even if you have macaroni at home, you could use that. Okay, so the last but not least thing you're going to need is something to punch a hole with. And I'm using a little nail, but Mom and Dad, you could use a push pin if you'd rather that your child doesn't use a nail, or you could punch the holes yourself. And of course, if you have a hole punch, that would be even better, but a little nail from around the house would be just fine. Okay, so here's how the project goes. I've made a little white example on a piece of paper to show you how we're going to start the project. So the way it works is you're going to simply draw around the little cup. You can fit 5 circles on a regular page. If you use a bigger cup, you might fit fewer, but you could probably fit at least 4. And then what you're going to do is, you notice I've made some little flowers here by making the letter V. Just the letter V 5 times in each circle. So I'm going to go ahead, and by the way, of course, I drew this with Sharpie so you can see it, but you're welcome to use a pencil. And I'm going to draw some little V's in one of these circles to show you what I mean. So there's 1 V, there's 2 V's, there's 3 V's, 4, and last one goes in here. So when you draw 5 V's, you end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 petals of your flower. So let me show you again the flowers that we're looking at here. Here's our beautiful lei, and you can see that the flower has 5 petals, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okie dokie. So, I'm going to show you for just a minute here. Here's an example of one of my pieces of paper. What I did was I simply took my little container and I put it on 2 pieces of paper, but I only traced on 1. And then I cut out 2 pieces of paper at the same time. It makes it go a little faster. For your younger children, folks, it's a little hard to do this with 2 pieces of paper, so you might want to just do 1 at a time. But if you're going to do this as a family, you might have a little assembly line and have a bunch of people cut out papers. All right, so I got 5 per page. And so, of course, those of you who are working on your addition skills, if I have 5 circles on 2 pieces of paper, how many circles do I have? Maybe we better count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh yeah, 10 circles. That's a lot. All right, so you can do as many of these as you like. And, you know, when you do your necklace, your lei, you don't have to have as many as I do if you don't want to. You could just have the flowers in the front, or you could have the flowers go all the way to the end. Up to you. Lots of choices in the world of art. So I'm going to just do a quick demonstration of what I'm going to do. After I've cut out these little flowers, I'm going to go, or the little circles, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make my V's. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then I'm going to hold my 2 circles together, and I'm going to just cut my little V's with the scissors. I'm just going to cut the little V's, and that's going to turn this into my flower. I can trim off the sides if they're too pointy. It's an interesting and fun practice, parents, for kids to try to do this with 1 piece of paper, more than 1 piece of paper, because it requires a bit of motor skill to pinch hard and turn the paper. You know, it's a noble challenge. Your kindergartner might struggle with this, but your 2nd grader won't. Now, you can tell that in this case, my flower has 1 petal that's bigger than the other, and that's okay. I don't mind. I don't mind at all. All right, so after I've cut flowers, I want to cut them all out. I would then take my little nail, and I would just, probably 1 at a time, I'm just going to poke a little hole right in the middle of the flower, so that I can thread these flowers onto my chain. All right, so both of those have a little hole now. Now, in this case, I actually have what's called a plastic needle. You don't have to have a needle to do this project. If you do have a needle, it makes it a little faster. But you notice between each flower are 3 little beads. Now, you're the designer, folks, so you decide how many beads you want, but I'm going to show you why you want to put the beads in between. If you go ahead and put your flowers right next to each other, look what happens. What happens is they don't stand apart. They just get squished. So really, you want to put something between each flower. As I mentioned, it could be you cut up some drinking straws, or you use some macaroni that's got a little kind of tube shape. I love these little beads, and they are very, very, very inexpensive, and they have nice big holes. So I'm going to just put some beads on my plate so that we can see. I'm going to, and again, with the beads, you can do any way that you like with this. I chose in my lei to have the beads be all the same color between the flowers, but you absolutely do not have to do that. You could have 3 different beads that are different colors. So I could put white, blue, and then green. And then I'm going to put my lovely, let's see, what color am I going to do? I think I'll put my red flower next. All right, so the point is we are going to put these beads between the flowers and then string them on there. And when you feel like you've done enough, like this is plenty long enough for my necklace. By the way, when you go ahead and cut your thread, make sure that you measure it by putting it around your own head to make sure that after you're finished with this, that this beautiful thing is going to actually fit you. Because if you make it too small, it will be a crown instead of a necklace, which wouldn't be bad for Island Day, actually. All right, so I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to thread my thread into the bead at the far end, and I'm going to tie a little knot. And in this particular case, I didn't make the flowers go all the way around, guys. I just have the flowers in the front. And that's fair. You can do that. If you want to make the flowers go all around the back, you could. but this would be a lovely thing to wear for Island Day or to decorate somewhere. So here's my necklace. I'm going to clear some goodies away here, and so you can see the necklace all done. There's my necklace, and I wish I could show you with me wearing this, but I haven't figured out how to do that yet, guys. So anyway, have a wonderful Island Day, and I will see you soon. Can't wait to see you on Island Day. Thanks, everybody. Miss you.